what's happening at the New York State Fair. WCNY Productions presents WCNY at the Fair with your hosts, Ted and Amy.
Wow, 8 days into the great New York State Fair, and the weather is still absolutely picture perfect.
I think I'm getting a farmer's tan, though. It's so nice and warm.
Well, we're promoting agriculture here in New York State. You should have a farmer's tan.
There you go. Well, then I guess a farmer's tan is appropriate. Thanks so much for joining us. We are having so much fun here with WCNY at the fair.
Yes, at the Media Center, right by the Center of Progress building.
That's right. You can stop by one more day tomorrow. Actually, we're going to be taping at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So if you have a chance and you're out at the great New York State Fair, Veterans Day today. So it's been very, very exciting. A ceremony earlier to celebrate and honor all of our veterans.
Yeah. If you're a veteran, by the way, you can get in free today with your military ID or your discharge papers. Hey, yesterday we interviewed Carol Baldwin. We want to say thanks for her for dropping off these great T-shirts that she has available at her Carol M. Baldwin Breast Cancer Foundation.
She was talking about them. I say, big or small, let's save them all.
And I think you can read what mine says. So, yeah, they're available here at the fair, and again, it all goes for a great cause. So thank you, Carol.
Holy cow, did you see the Cougars that were out watching Rick Springfield last night?
I'm surprised you weren't here. I kind of qualify as a Cougar now.
If it wasn't, okay.
Chevy Court turned into Cougar Court.
If it wasn't past my bedtime.
Rick, over here, Rick.
I can't believe Rick Springfield is 60, though. Does that make you feel old?
That's
I don't
crazy.
know. He was always little Noah Drake to me.
I know.
Jesse's girl, but I guess he put on quite
Jesse's
a
girl
show
is now a
last night.
grandmother, from what I understand.
And he's looking good. My goodness.
Yeah.
So very, very nice to see Rick Springfield at Chevy Court. Chevy Court is every time, we get a rundown of the concert the night before, they say, they were packed in. Everybody was packed into Chevy Court. So I guess bringing new acts in, every time has really been helping attendance.
Earlier today here at Chevy Court, we had Lee Greenwood performing. Lee Greenwood, famous for God Bless the USA. And tonight at 8 o'clock, the Oak Ridge Boys. Can you name an Oak Ridge Boys song?
Elvira. I was thinking,
They're going to do a show at 8 o'clock, so if you're headed out to the fair today.
And let's get into the rock and roll hair bands. How about a little crew fest at the Mohegan Sun Grandstand?
Yeah!
Is this Hang Loose or is this the rock thing?
That's Hang Loose.
Hang Loose.
That's if you're going to Hawaii. Yeah, Motley Crue.
I was not a rocker, can you tell?
Motley Crue and 5 other bands. Bring your earplugs. They start at 5 o'clock at the grandstand.
Well, you know who's going to be rocking out to Crew Fest tonight? He's going to take off his suit. Assemblyman Bill Magnarelli is joining us.
Assemblyman, how are you?
Bill, now come on, you're going to put on your Motley Crue T-shirt, and you're going to be all over it.
Actually, Assemblyman, you were here for Veterans Day. You've got a big parade coming.
Right. We were here this morning for the ceremony to honor our veterans, and on November 7th, which is the Saturday before Veterans Day, we have the what I hope will be the annual Central New York Veterans Day Parade.
Wonderful.
So, last year we had about 10 marching bands. This year we've got about 12. We've got, and still counting, we've got them from all of Onondaga County. We've got one coming in from 1,000 Islands. We've got the Syracuse University Marching Band, and a number of military units that will be in the parade as well to show how much we respect the veterans and what they've done for us.
Well, great. That's coming up November 7th.
November 7th.
Nothing like a parade. There's ceremonies and things, but I think the parades just bring entire families, and it's just a great way to talk about what the veterans have done for us.
Absolutely. And, to show your support for our troops, and to show your support and respect for the veterans and what they've all done for us over the years.
Right.
Last year was really moving to me to see so many of the World War II veterans who are still here coming out and really just having such a great day.
It means so much to them.
Absolutely. It meant so much to them. And having all the marching bands is kind of a little bit different. I mean, we have a great St. Patrick's Day parade in Syracuse.
Right.
But because of the time of year, you can't get all of these high school marching bands.
That's right.
In this parade, we've got them all, and it kind of gives it that military kind of feeling with the marching bands and the patriotic music, and it's a good time. I hope everybody will come out and show the vets just how much they mean to us.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Quickly before we have to go, how's things in the 120th District?
Well, you're sitting in it. It's fantastic.
This is your district.
Very nice. Way to throw a party, my friend.
That's right. I'm the only assemblyman who can say over a 12-day period, I get 1 million visitors to my. I get 1 million visitors to my.
You should get more funding, doesn't that mean?
I think you're right. I'm going to bring that up to the speaker.
Okay. Best fair food.
The sausage sandwich.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Plus, you politicians, you know, that you can't go wrong with the sausage
not only that,
sandwich.
I've been doing it since I was about 5. And by the way, I hit 60 this year, so it's been a lot of sausage.
You and Rick
Springfield,
babe.
That's right.
Watch out for the
Yeah,
Cougars.
me and him together, I know.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for
You're
joining
welcome.
us. Have a great
You're
rest
welcome.
of the run of the fair.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Still plenty to happen here out at the Great New York State Fair. You know, there's over in the Center of Progress building this year, the sand sculpture is of the USS New York. Are you familiar with that?
Well, it's a brand new ship, part of it made from some of the remnants of the
steel?
World Trade Center. Yeah. And actually, the commander of the USS New York made an appearance for Veterans Day today. Let's listen in, shall we?
It's got 7.5 tons of steel from the World Trade Center in her bow, right where the bow cuts through the water. So at the cutting edge of the ship is the World Trade Center steel. And that was melted down from some of the steel that was in the World Trade Center. And so it's got a real emotional tug.
It's a beautiful sculpture, and I first learned about it about a month ago. And it was kind of put to us as a surprise because we really didn't know anything about it. And so it's a thrill. I mean, the ship is a magnificent ship, and then to see it represented here in sand at the New York State Fair, it's spectacular.
It's a huge privilege and an honor to be here and to represent the ship. I've done several things for Veterans Day in the past, and this is by far absolutely awesome. It really is.
It's a great salute by the state of New York to the memory of the people who we lost at 9/11, and also to the Navy. But what we're trying to do is not just look back, look ahead, and imbue the spirit of New York with these sailors and Marines.
It's amazing. They took possession of that ship 11 days ago.
Yeah, very new. It's interesting. Let's see, 700 Marines, 360 crew members, and it's going to be in for the dedication ceremony in New York City on November 7th.
And they were all very moved by seeing it
moved.
represented in the sand
Well,
sculpture.
before the sand sculpture was done, I had a chance to talk to one of these sculpture artists. So
really?
Very interesting. Let's hear more about it. And we're here with Dave Henderson, one of the sand sculpture artists. Hello, Dave. Thanks for taking time out to talk to us. I feel bad interrupting an artist at work.
It's okay. My knees are sore. I need a break.
Now, you start before the fair, and you do this all during the run of the New York State Fair?
Just about. We're finishing up on the 2nd. I'll be going back home on the 3rd.
Now, where is home?
San Diego.
Which kind of makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of sand in San Diego. Is that how you got started? You played in the sandbox, or how did that work?
I saw some folks at the beach building, at the time, a world record sandcastle. Introduced myself. They invited me to participate. Next thing I knew, I was competing at the World Championships, and months later, flying to Japan to build sand sculpture.
So you do this all year round at different fairs and different events?
I used to till my firstborn son showed up, and then I was traveling too much, so I said I need to stay home more. So now I build faux rock waterfalls with concrete and rebar and koi ponds and such back home, as well as doing sand sculpture.
You said you pick and choose, and I am so honored that you really like to come to the New York State Fair. Why is that?
You guys have great sand, great venue, neat folks to work with, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to be back here. I think it's almost 17 years now, 18 years, I can't remember.
Holy cow!
Long time.
Well, let's talk about this year's sculpture. This is the USS New York, and tell me why you decided to do this.
Well, the fair brought the theme to my attention and said, let's focus on that, and so we've added that into the design, as well as the twin towers in the back, because apparently the ship is made with elements of steel from the twin towers, which I think is really cool. And so they gave me the theme this year, and we're going to develop that along with other elements as we go.
Now, I interrupted you, so this is not fair for me to ask this, but do you have people who are constantly trying to ask you questions?
They do, and it's reasonable. Yeah, we pack the sand in the wooden boxes, which you folks can see at home, with the gas-powered tamper, and then sometimes we just use our feet, and then we take the box apart, and out of the blocks that you can see here, we carve our thing, whatever it's going to be, and that's it.
That's amazing.
That's it.
And you work from the beginning of the gates opening to closing up?
Yeah, almost. This time we started earlier in the schedule, I guess, because there's a lot of vendors in this building. We wanted to get in ahead of time, so we had the full 160 tons this year, almost double what we normally have, and we make it up as we go. There's parts of this sculpture that I don't know what it's going to be, so I just sort of stare at it and wonder, okay, what should that be? And then out of the sky, the Lord gives me some guidance or something. So it's really cool.
And how neat is that you have one of the biggest attractions at the fair? Seriously, everybody looks forward to the sand sculpture.
I'm pleased that they enjoy it. It's a performing art. It's a creative piece. It's creativity, and it's gone when the fair's gone. So come down and see it while you can. It'll never be again. This is a one-time deal. Every project we do, that's the way it is.
Well, that's great, David. Thank you so much, and good luck with this year's sculpture.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Right here in the center of Progress Building.
It's amazing to see him work on that.
Doesn't he look like James Taylor?
He does a little bit. My favorite part of this whole interview, though, was when you came back and said, I interviewed the sand sculptor, and he's from San Diego.
I was kidding, but there is a lot of sand in San Diego.
That's true. They are on the ocean.
Hey, coming up, are you ready to hear from Bandaloni, the guy from the first season of America's Got Talent?
Yeah.
Plus the State Fair 4, and what do we have Polly doing?
The biggest animals and the smallest animals here at the fair. It's all coming up at the fair with WCNY.